connect to your higher self. What I do is, and how I started doing this was a technique that I was taught when I was doing hypnosis. So when I was doing hypnosis on people, I was trying to connect the person to the higher self, and I went through a certain routine to do that. So I adapted that and made that part of my meditation routine to start with. Because what happens is when you make these connections, especially to your higher self and source, you need to start off bit by bit. You can't run before you can walk. You have to start somewhere. So what I did, I followed this routine. And I adapted it from my meditation practices. So whatever you do to meditate, get yourself comfortable, lay on your bed, sit under your chair. I sit under my copper pyramid and my wooden pyramid outside. Taking your deep breaths, do your meditation, get yourself feeling nice and relaxed. Then what you want to do then, you want to set the intention that you want to meet your higher self. And just imagine it as a journey inside your own self, getting to your higher self. Now the way to do this is with hypnosis, you take your consciousness down and down and deeper and deeper. That's just what you do in meditation. You're taking your deep breaths. You're bringing your consciousness down to a more connected to the higher part of you. Even though I'm saying down, I don't mean that in a frequency level. So anyway, start doing your deep breathing, do your meditation, right? Come up to a set of steps, right? And now imagine this set of steps has a handle on it, and there's 10 steps on those. Now you're starting at the one at the top, and you're going to work it all the way down. And while you're doing your deep breathing, you want to say to yourself, with every step I take down, I'm going deeper and deeper into my subconscious, deeper and deeper into my connection to my inner self. Whatever words you want to use, it doesn't matter what words you really use, it's just the intention. So you're trying to take your connection deeper and deeper. And so I was using, like I said, these techniques I learnt in hypnosis. So you take yourself down, so with every step, count from 10 to 1, and say that by the time you get to step 1, you're going to be totally deep in a meditation. Just say that. Like I said, use any words, whatever you feel comfortable with. Do that. And as you're going down the steps, taking in your deep breaths. And with every exhale, go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So keep doing that, breathing in. With every exhale, down, 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 till you get to number 1. And then say that you're in a deep, beautiful state of relaxation. And then just walk along in your mind's eye, doing your meditation, doing your deep breathing, listening to your music. Now imagine yourself on a beach. So I'm describing this journey because then you can remember when it comes to actually doing your meditation. So you start off walking down a set of steps while you're breathing, go down to the last step, then walk along and come along to a beach. And on this beach, it's going to be called, well, you can call it whatever you want to. The beach of your higher self, let's say. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to take yourself in deeper and deeper into a meditation, and then you're also setting the intention with your higher self that you want to open up a connection, you want to open a communication with them, right? So as you're walking along this beach and your mind's high, you're doing your meditation, you're listening to your music, you're taking deep breaths, and just say, with every step I walk forward, I'm walking closer and closer to my higher self. And then just imagine, just feel the sand under your feet as you're walking along, feel the rays of the sun beating down. Imagine that being the source energy coming from this inner sun inside yourself as you're walking along this beach, taking your deep breaths, with every step getting closer and closer to your higher self. Then what I want you to imagine then is you see a crystal elevator in front of you. And what this symbolises is actually going up in the dimensions to meet your higher self. And like I've said, this is when you first start doing this. I don't need to do any of this now, and I know lots of people out there don't. They hear their higher self all the time. But just to start with, if you've never done it, practice this. So then walk up to this crystal elevator. Now imagine there's a big button on it, and it says higher self. Press that button, So I just say, you're just visualizing it, you're doing your deep breathing, you're doing your meditation, walk into this crystal elevator. And as you walk in there, turn around and visualize it. It's made of crystal, so it's see-through. It's quartz crystal. You can see through it. And then turn around and see a button. Press that button, because that's going to be to your higher self. So just press that and then just visualize yourself going up and up and up through the dimensions, and just use your imagination, let yourself manifest it, because your imagination is your manifestation. So the more you can put into your head, you don't have to see crystal clear pictures. I don't. You can do it with a feeling. You can just do it as best you can, like doing your daydreaming, and then just imagine yourself going up and up and up into this lift. And as you're doing that, just say to yourself, as I go up, I'm getting closer and closer to my higher self, as I go through the dimensions to the highest possible version of me, the one that's closest to source. And when you do this maybe for a minute or two, going up in this elevator, and then say to yourself, as you reach into the top of this elevator in the dimensions, that you're going to come across some doors. And when these doors open, you're going to walk through and you're going to be greeted by your higher self. Now, all this is helping your higher self, obviously, because it knows everything about you. It can see everything what you're doing, and it knows you're trying to contact it. Now, what I would say at this point, if you're trying to contact your higher self to ask questions, because that's what most people do, they want guidance, they want to know what they're doing, they want to know if they're doing it right, whatever. Now, if it's in your highest interest to contact your higher self and get some information, then this connection will happen. However, if you are going to your higher self because you want the lottery numbers for next week, or you want something like that, what's not in your highest interest, even though your 3D body might think, oh, having millions of pounds, millions of dollars might be great, but in reality it's not going to get you to where you want to go in your spiritual journey. So just be aware that you may not make a connection to your higher self unless your intentions proper. So in other words, if you're meant to be there and you're meant to be listening to me now and you're meant to be trying to do this, then give it a go and it will happen. Don't beat yourself up about it if it doesn't, because it's just the matter of looking at your true intentions of why you was there and what you was trying to find out. Maybe you're asking questions to things that you don't need to know the answer to yet, because you might be going through a lesson in your life, what you've actually programmed for yourself before you even came to earth, and you said to your higher self, no matter what happens, don't help me through this problem, I need to do it myself. It's a lesson I need to learn in my 3D body. So that's what it may be. So don't beat yourself up if you can't and you don't connect to your higher self. However, like I said, if it's meant to happen, it will happen. So go through the doors, meet your higher self, and then just ask a question. Now, what I was taught in meditation, and it has stood me in great stead ever since then, is to take the first answer that comes to your head. So let's say you've got a question, whatever it may be. What could it be? And it could be anything. Is my wife the right one for me? Just like, or is my husband the right person for me on this journey? Something like that. And whatever comes first, listen to that answer. Because what you'll find is your consciousness, your subconscious has like a barrier, and that barrier is like your ego, and its job is very vital. It's to stop you being conned, stop you doing stuff what's not in your best interest, but on a 3D level. Now, what you may find is you may get an answer what you don't expect. That might shock your consciousness, like in your 3D body, and then your ego comes in and might put a barrier up and say, oh, no, you're talking to yourself, it's just in your imagination. If you start to take notice of that all the time, then you're going to lose your connection to your higher self. Because what it is, it's like a trust you get with your higher self. The more you take the first answer, and then maybe move on to the next question, and do this as well. So you're not just asking a question and expecting a voice just to say, it is this, it is that. No, go with the feeling, go with any visuals you get, go with anything at all, and try and build a picture of the answer to what you're asking. Now, I did this to start with, and I got some answers pretty quickly. Some of them I thought, wow, I didn't agree with that. But in hindsight, it turns out, of course, my higher self was right. But at the time, I thought, no, that's not true. But it turned out to be in the long run. So I would use this technique to start a connection with your higher self.